We're back in session in cause number 330660, case of South State of Texas versus Ray Charles Jones. Mr. Jones previously, Mr. Jones, let me do that. Well, Mr. Jones was previously sworn in. Mr. Jones, I have before me a document that is titled the information in cause number 330660. And the information alleges that on or about August 25th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to class A misdemeanor offense of indecent assault. Mr. Jones, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Jones, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Jones, I have before me a document that is titled to misdemeanor plea admonishment. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, RJ, on a line next to a box that's checked nolla contendere, which means no contest. Mr. Jones, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Jones, on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Did you sign this document? Did you sign this document, Mr. Jones?
I don't think I did. I don't know. I think I did.
Well, they have a signature above above the line that's titled defendant, and that signature purports to be your signature. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed.
And on the next document, which is titled the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2, well, on the same page of the same document, at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And on the next, now, Mr. Jones, did you sign a document out there that is titled the discovery certification? Did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled the discovery certification?
I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
Mr. Matuska, did he sign the discovery certification?
You did.
Okay. Now, that's the paper. Did you sign a paper out there? It was on paper, wasn't on the tablet.
Well, probably like 2 days before I came in here, I probably did before I first came in here.
I'm talking about today. Did you sign any paperwork today?
Well, before, Well, the first time I came here, I did. When I was there, the first time I came before the tickets on.
Hey, Mr. Porter.
Yeah, I have it.
You have it? Okay, show it to him. Would you, if you don't mind?
This paper that you signed this morning. Oh, okay.
Did you sign that document?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that's the discovery certification. Now, Mr. Charles, before you signed and initialed these documents that I have just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Jones, I will accept your plea of no contest. Okay, well, Mr. Jones, let me do this. State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishments. State, you would also like to offer State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Matuska, you have any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibits number 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Matuska, you advised and counseled Mr. Jones. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir, Your Honor.
And Mr. Jones, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jones, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
90 days county jail.
Okay. Mr. Jones, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Mr. Jones, you'll be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. Mr. Jones, the court cost in this case is $337. Mr. Jones, would you be able to pay the $337?
Yes, sir.
I mean, let me back up. The court cost in this case is $327. Now, Mr. Jones, will you be able to pay the $327?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Jones, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Jones, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Jones, this will conclude your case. You can follow the bailiff, Mr. Jones, and you have a blessed day. Oh, hey, tell him to get Mr. Jones back. Sir, Mr. Wise, tell them to get Mr. Jones back.
Is Mr. Jones back?
The guy who just left, tell him to get him back. Tell the bailiff to get him back.
Okay.
The judge said send him back.
Jones?
Yeah.
Go. Go.
Disregard, the judge is calling them back for some more paperwork.
Hurry up. Jones.
Come on here.
Back in there, Judge. Just talk to you.
Okay, we're back on the record in clause number 330660. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Ray Charles Jones. Now, Mr. Jones, in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you or warns you of the following. Number one, you are by entry or of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code section 46.013, a firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.02, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Jones, you'll be given a copy of this written admonishment at the jail. Mr. Jones, this will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Okay.
We're in session in cause number 330338. Mr. Wise, you can be seated.
I can see, yeah, I can't hear you, Your Honor. I wear hearing aids and I don't have this one, and this one's dead.
Okay. Now, Mr. Wise, okay, we're in session in cause number 330338. The case is styled the State of Texas versus James Lee Wise Sr. Mr. Wise, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wise, you may raise your right hand. Mr. Wise, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wise, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Wise, I have before me a document that is titled Information. And in this document, it alleges that on or about May 26 of 2021, while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. Mr. Wise, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Wise, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest? Oh, Mr. Wise, I'm looking at the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and it have your initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Are you pleading guilty or are you pleading no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor, guilty. I'm sorry.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Can you repeat that, sir?
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Wise, I have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. On page 1 of this document, there are a set of initials over a line or next to a box that's checked DWI, DWLS, and drug offense. And I'll just read the paragraph that your initials is next to. It says that a conviction for the offense of driving while intoxicated, driving while license suspended, or for misdemeanors drug-related offense will likely result in loss of driver's license and or return the payment of a surcharge for the Texas Department of Public Safety. Do you understand that paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document, which is titled the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Repeat that again, sir.
The next box there are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise, did you sign a document out there that is titled the discovery certification? Did you sign a document on paper out there that is titled the discovery certification?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Wise, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I have just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Matuska?
No, Your Honor.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Matuska, you've advised and counsel Mr. Wise. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Wise, your attorney, Mr. Matuska, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his
Yes, sir.
representation? And has he provided full, effective, and competent representation?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Okay, Mr. Wise, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
30 days county jail.
Mr. Wise, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Mr. Wise, you will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. Mr. Wise, the court cost in this case is $442. Mr. Wise, will you be able to pay the $442?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Wise, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. And on the second page of this document, there's a signature that purports to be your signature. It says James Wise, and it was signed on September 28th of 2021. And Mr. Wise, did you sign this document at the jail?
What does it say?
It's a document with your financial information on it. It talks about your monthly income and assets.
Oh, yes, sir.
It has your expenses. Did you remember signing this document at the jail?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wise, the court, based on the information you provided in the affidavit of indigence, based on the fact that Judge Rod Podge said that you met the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court appointed attorney because of insufficient income. This court is gonna also find that you're indigent, and the court cost of $442 will be waived. That simply means, Mr. Wise, that you will not have to pay the court cost of $442 because the court is gonna waive that pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. So, Mr. Wise, your sentence is 30 days in jail. You'll be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law, and the court cost in this case will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. Wise, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? Do you
Yes,
think that the state's offer is fair and just?
yes, sir.
And do you accept,
Yes.
accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Wise, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state, Mr. Wise. This will conclude your case. Please follow the bailiff, Mr. Wise, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, just knock on the door and tell the bailiff that you're through.
Okay, all right, and I truly apologize, Your Honor.
No, you don't have to, apologize for anything.
Well, I mean, I made a mistake and I apologize and I'm truly
Okay.
sorry. Thank
Okay,
you, Your
well,
Honor.
okay, we will accept your apologies.
Thank you.
All right.
That's it for you.
Cormier, you figure it out?
Huh?
Cormier?
Cormac,
Yeah, I just send this paperwork to booking. Hey, Judge, the only two we have left are Kathy and Kellogg, but neither of their attorneys are around.
No, you need a, those case, you say, hold on.
Kathy,
Hold on a minute.
Kathy and Kellogg.
Hold on a minute. Kellogg, that case, let's see. Yeah, you can reset Kellogg. And you say Kathy?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, you gotta reset that one too.
Kathy and Kellogg reset.